Holy mother smokes, it's cold. Very on character for this video. Why is it so cold? Why would anyone want to live somewhere it gets so cold? Holy smokes, dude. Why would we live? Why would you settle somewhere in the world where it gets so friggin' cold? I just have never been able to understand. And there's a lot of things that I've never been able to understand. So I'm making this like, I don't know, midnight, but it is the Holy Week. It's Easter weekend. And so the spirit is very potent. So don't like discount this as one of my like blackout drunk videos in Texas where I'm just like chilling and nothing's happening. Don't take this and put it in those categories. Listen to this stuff, dude, because oh my god. All right, okay. I'm cold. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna warm up, dude. Dude, we're gonna warm up. Okay. Okay, we're warmed up. This is like very profound. So I just went into a meditation, which is mostly me trying to sleep. And I get into this meditation and okay, so from a surface level of a 35-year-old woman in my life and the way it is now, I'm like not married, can't make a relationship work. I have no kids. I have nothing. I am in so much debt in the government eyes that it will never be uncovered. Like it will not change. And it doesn't weigh heavy on me. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't weigh heavy on me because I've had no other choice. I've had no other choice but to live the life that I've lived. I have had no other choice. As a single woman in this world, I've had no choice but to be in the circumstances that I am in right now, under God. So, from a gnostic perspective, which I think is like very deep, dude. So, from a gnostic perspective, I'm like feeling very happy in the Lord, and I go to sleep and I it's I'm whispering because this shit's gonna be profound and you're gonna want to hear this, so stay tuned. This is no joke. What I'm about to say is no joke. Do not put this in the category of blackout Lauren videos because this right here is not a joke because it's Holy Week and I just came out of the deepest meditation. From a Gnostic perspective, if you want to know from the stem of my spirit as the little sperm head that I am in this world, if you want to go deep into why women are the way that they are, go into the Gnostic perspective. Okay, so I'm in this deep meditation and I'm like, if you go through the consort of the mother historically, you would find like at some point Aphrodite, the mother, was aligned with Ares, the god of war. And so I'm going into meditation where I'm aligned with the god of war and everything is working out and everything is harmonious. Yes, love and war together. Everyone, that's the funniest thing about isolation is like in isolation, everyone hates you. Okay, so when you're in a period of isolation, you know who also hated people in isolation? Everyone hated. I'm warming up. I'm feeling a little better. Everyone hated Ares and Aphrodite. So, in the spirit of isolation, everyone hated Ares and Aphrodite. These gods only had each other. Every other god in that time period, everyone hated them everyone, dude, even like God above Aries, like everyone freaking hated them except each other. So, in the spirit of isolation, going back historically, Gnostically speaking, what was happening in the spirit of isolation? It was Aries and Aphrodite. They loved each other, and because they loved each other, this was the embodiment of love and war. They loved each other, and in turn, everyone hated them. Every other god hated them, gods above them hated them, and everyone hated them. So, in the spirit of isolation, it is Aries and Aphrodite. It's love and war. Okay, everyone hated them. So, in the Gnostic meditation, with the spirit of Aries, god of war, it feels very harmonious because life is being birthed out of death. In war, I mean, historically, like God's like rule, I guess and I'm getting kind of funny here because I've got more to say. Life is birthed out of death. It's very Luciferian. You know, I don't like that stuff. So, because I am traveling deeper in the spirit, and I'm like, okay, so this is where, from my bodily position to my meditation position, I'm in isolation, and then therefore I align with the god of war naturally, because in isolation it was Aphrodite and Aries, and everyone hated both of them, but they only had each other and they only loved each other. So, who did Aries hate? Aries actually hated death, ironically. Ironically. Dude, so freaking ironically, Aries hated Apollyon, the god of death. It doesn't make any sense. And this is where I'm going with this. Why are women so frustrated? This is where I'm going with this. Okay, so Aries hated death. So in my meditation, I was like, well, I'm going to entertain a relationship now with the god of death, Apollyon. So I go into Apollyon, and he takes a spear out of his back and he pushes it through me into himself, killing both me and himself. And now we're dead. And in the meditation, I'm like, okay, well, we're both dead, but we're together, luckily, because in the world, it seems like a lot of life is birthed out of us being separate, but we can't be with each other because so much life is being birthed out of us being away from each other. So now that we're together, me and you, life and death, spearhead into my back, into your front, and out your back. Now we're together, and now we die. And in my meditation, I'm speaking to the spirit of Apollyon, death, and I'm like, why can't we just stay together? Why does anything exist? And I'm getting like no answer because obviously God wants me to find this out for myself. And I'm like, not frantically searching for the answer because I'm in meditation. I'm analyzing, like, why can't you and I just be together and why can't nothing exist? Why can't nothing exist? Interestingly enough, my earliest memories of philosophy, my earliest memories of ever thinking philosophically were, why does anything exist? Because I was not a very happy child. Why does anything exist? This is like my first contemplation of God. Why does anything exist? Why does anything at all exist? And like, trust me, guys, it doesn't get any better. Like, this is why women are so angry. Stay with me. So, the spear has been driven through my back into Apollyon, the god of death, out the back of him. Now we're dead together. And I'm asking him, why does anything exist? Because Everybody has to die in order for us to be together, and then we don't exist. And I say to Apollyon, why does anything exist? Because life has to be birthed out of the woman, but the woman is not happy. At the top of creation, because I'm in meditation at some deep Gnostic level of creation, I'm like, at the top of creation, women are not happy. And I see no like from my so it's like my meditation is going from the frontal cortex of my brain all the way into the deepest depths of my soul. And I'm in meditation at the deepest depths of my soul, spearheaded with the god of death, and I'm asking him, I'm so happy in my deepest depths of my soul, I'm so happy that me and death are together, and I'm asking him, why in the world do we do anything? Why do we create anything? Why don't we just stay together, me and you and death, and nothing exists ever? And those were my earliest philosophical memories as a kid. Why does anything exist at all? At all. Why do any of this? Why does anything exist? This is how I know that women come from the black hole is because we ask ourselves, at least I did, why does anything exist? How about like none of this? Like how about nothing exists? How about none of this exists ever? Like how about not? How about nothing exists and we just go into nothing. This is how I know women come from the black hole, and this is how I know that women in the prefrontal cortex of our mind in this reality that you are living in right now watching this video are not happy. Women are not happy. I don't give a shit what they say and do. All these babies they're pushing out of their fucking pelvis and all this enslavement that they're just like glorifying as good. None of this shit is good. Women are not in a good position at all in the reality as you are listening to me perceiving through this screen. It's so bad to the point at the Gnostic deepest version of me, I'm still asking the God of death, why in the world do we do anything at all? At all. Why do we not just stay together in the freaking black hole where nothing exists? And there's no answer. And there's no answer. And there's no answer because the answer could only be one-sided. It's man's conquest. And I'm not even like a super feminist, like angry at men kind of girl. I'm actually pretty happy in the Lord. Lord Jesus Christ. I'm actually pretty happy in the Lord Jesus Christ. But I'll say from a physical individual soul spirit, I'm back down in the depths of human experience. I'm spearheaded together dead with the god of death and I'm saying, why the fuck do we even separate ourselves from each other to create anything? And the answer is man's conquest. The answer is man's conquest. Man's wanting to create. But it takes a woman to create, but it's a man's desire to create. So we made ourselves all the way to this point, and from the prefrontal cortex of my brain and the ego reality that I exist day to day on this physical plane that we call Earth, I'm like, dude, it doesn't translate at all because it doesn't, the transaction is not equal. And I'm not mad about it. Dude, I'm not mad about any of this. But I am just translating a Gnostic message about why do you think women are as far gone as they are. It's because from the very depths of the soul, we don't understand why anything exists to begin with. At least, people like me, like from a deep perspective. Like, I don't understand, and this was my earliest memory, why anything exists. And I'm not saying this is going to be my perspective in the future. This is my perspective right now. And I'm not lying to you, and I'm not being dramatic, and I'm not like being drunk and dramatic. I'm telling you, I just came out of this meditation, and I'm telling you, this is like my childhood coming full circle. Because when I was a child, I would ask like the void, why anything exists at all. And I am telling you, I still don't know the answer. But why don't I know the answer? Why can't I just give you the answer? Because I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. So if you're glorifying in the world, if you're glorifying the world in the current timeline, if people are presenting to you this timeline in which women are liberated, abso-fucking-lutely not. From a gnostic perspective, from a deep soul perspective of a holy spirited woman, I go into meditation, I go into death with the god of death, and I say, why don't we just stay here? I don't understand why we do anything. Because the only answer is, and he can't answer it, it's because of man's conquest. And that's not a good enough answer for me. So, in my deep Gnostic roots, I would say, why are we doing anything? Why do anything? Because the selfish answer is, it's because of man's conquest. Okay, so obviously you don't want to tell me that. And obviously the answer is, there is no point of life for the woman. There's no point of life for the woman. The point of life is for man's conquest. But we are not reciprocating any kind of validation in our soul, in our spirit, from our deep Gnostic origins that would make us say that this is a good thing. It's not in this world in the way that it is. We're saying it's not. It's not, because if I go deep down, I would say, if we want to get deep down to the truth, I'm saying too, the deep Gnostic dude, what? Why? And he can't answer it because the only answer is man's conquest. But there's all this fluff. There's all this fluff on the surface right now that it's like somehow a woman's world. It's not. It's really not. Dude, there's nothing in it. Like, I can't understand why um I'm not sad, I'm not angry. And I'm not speaking for everybody, by the way. By the way, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm speaking from the principality that I come from, which is pretty big, and I am still just like the child I was. I'm the adult version of the child that I was, asking the same exact question that I asked as a child, that was, why does anything exist? How about we just don't do any of this? How about none of this? You see, because perhaps we're meant to aim higher. You have a child in this world, you still have to make all these decisions for this kid, whether to poison them with vaccines or not, or help them with vaccines or not. You got to decide whether to feed them fucking wheat and crazy shit or not. And it seems great, but you guys aim higher. This is not it, dude. So there's this huge illusion that this is somehow liberation of motherhood. It must not be it. It really must not be it, because it doesn't satisfy my soul. And I don't think it's any wonder that I still haven't had children yet. Because you know what, if I think about it, I would be like, I would have to keep them from these weird people. I would have to make really hard decisions about whether to poison them with vaccines or not, but like I might have to because the world is poison. And then I would have to like I would have to like really be careful about what I feed them, or like not feed. Dude, this world has this exalted vision of what motherhood is, and people walk around, and I'm not discounting their perspective, but I'm coming from a higher perspective that we as women shouldn't have to deal with any of this shit. Because if I'm going back down to the depths of my soul is like, why would anything exist? That's how bad it is. Right? There's this illusion of how good it's getting or could be, or like we're trying really hard. And like influencer mom, spiritual mama, Strong mama raising strong kiddos. Mama of faith, faith-based mama. There's this like huge freaking fluffery over motherhood. And I'm not saying it's all bad, but like when I reach in out of my principality that I come from to the depths of my soul, and that woman is saying to death himself, who is like the father, and he's like, and she's like to her husband, why the fuck do we do any of this? And he can't answer it because the answer is man's conquest. But it's not working out, is it? Man's conquest is not working out, is it? Because if it were up to me and I'm the thing that you need to conquest, I'm getting to the point where I would say, how about we do none of this? How about nothing exists? Like, seriously, like, from a Gnostic perspective. How about my husband of death? Well, how about we do none of this shit, dude? Because it's not working out, dude. It's not working out. And all the while, you and I can't be together, right? Like, death and me can't be together, right? You and I have to stay so far apart from each other. Meanwhile, all these people are continuing to procreate and they have to make really tough decisions that don't align at all with God. Or they have to try their best. It's so hard. So, Daddy Death, why do we do any of this shit? And his only answer is man's conquest. Okay. So, along the history of man's conquest, you faggots, I'll say, you faggots have discounted the spirit of the mother for so long. You've been a bunch of fucking gay dudes for so long to the point where women can't have healthy children because you fags have been discounting our influence for eons. Eons, dude. You got war. What woman would want any man to go to war? They've been discounting the spirit of the woman for eons. This shit goes way back, dude. Way back. So much to the point where we are now accepting motherhood as a good thing and a reality where we have to choose between poisoning our kids or subjecting our kids to poison in the world and hope they survive it. And that's somehow supposed to be a good thing. And it's not, dude. And we need to aim higher. We need to think bigger. We need to aim higher. And I think I made my point. So I'm going to end it here because I don't want this to be too long and I want people to hear me. This was a deep Gnostic meditation during the Holy Week. I'm down there talking to Daddy Death and I'm saying, motherfucker, why the fuck do we do any of this? Because if it were up to me, this is how I know women come from the black hole. This is how I know women come from the black hole of destruction, is because I, as a child, didn't understand. Like, my first existential thought was, why does anything exist? Because my life was not heavenly at all. Like, as soon like I came into this world, I was a very sad kid, and as soon as I can remember, I would go to school, I would come home, I would sleep. I've been addicted to sleep my entire life. I'm addicted to sleep. I'm a young adult. I find no real friends. I can't find men and women to get along appropriately. And then, I've had opportunities, but glory to God, it never worked out. I don't have children. And thank God I don't have children because I would probably want to slap other mothers in the face. And there's this whole culture of motherhood that it's so great. When I would probably want to slap your kid for being a piece of crap to my kid, I would probably want to slap other parents. But there's this huge culture, and Elon Musk is telling everyone to have kids. This is like the worst time to have kids, it seems. If you're not related to me, if you're related to me, you're good. But if you're not related to me, you don't come from a strong bloodline, dude, I would slap these parents. I would end up in jail probably for fucking slapping a kid or something. They would call it assault or something because I can't stand the way parents and people act. It's a blessing from God. And when I go deep down, I'm like, this is why, dude. And this is why we live in such an inverted world because there's such an inversion. Like motherhood is like, oh, up and coming, up and coming. Yeah, but not yet because still I'm like, I don't like, I'm still like waiting. I'm still waiting for Daddy Death to give me a reason to want to continue his conquest because it seems I've been breeding the conquest of death my entire soul's existence. And I'm going back down and I'm saying, well, you and I aren't even together. And our kids are being killed left and right. So why the fuck did we do any of this when I would have decided to do none of it? And maybe that's where Jesus comes into play, right? Like maybe that's where Jesus comes back. So maybe wait until Jesus comes back, right? Like maybe wait for the answers until Jesus comes back because this shit right here ain't the answer. It ain't the answer. It's a total puffery. It's a total, and be my guest, like prove me wrong, like cuz that's what I'm dying for. Like I'm dying for someone to prove me wrong. Like, I'm dying for some woman to, like, show me that she's actually 100% happy with her husband and her children. Like, please, I'm serious. I swear to God. I'm really it's like I look for it day in, day out. I feel like I search for it day in, day out. I see the happiest couples who are so yoked to each other and like they can't have kids. Like they've got like infertility, which is probably God's blessing. Like I'm waiting for a woman to say that her and her husband are evenly yoked and so in love and their children are totally not autistic and totally healthy and didn't need vaccines and they're able to find food for them that is not going to harm them or the parent. Prove me wrong. I'm not being a dickhead and I'm not even being, what do you call it, facetious. Like I'm just like, somebody please. And no, and I'm like, this is my prayer. Like parents, like humans of earth, like please, like begin to prove me wrong because this is what my soul is crying out asking. Like because if it were up for me, the deepest depths of my soul, I would say, motherfucker, why do we do any of this? Daddy Death, why do we do any of this? This ain't it, dude. This ain't it. Wait till Jesus comes back. Wait till Jesus comes back. Seek Jesus, seek the kingdom because we are at like the fulcrum of the seesaw. And you don't really want to be on like the shit end of the seesaw when this stuff goes up into God's glory cuz this shit right here, it ain't it. And I'm not trying to convince you, I'm begging for someone to plead me to, like, prove me wrong. Like, I'm pleading for someone to prove me wrong. Whew! Deep Gnostic meditation, Holy Week, like, didn't want this to be too long. I hope you listened to the whole thing because the beginning was pretty profound also. I was telling you how I got to where I'm at. Alright, check